Good morning traders and welcome to today's live trading. Today is the 9th of November and we are just a few minutes past the open actually on the FTSE 100. So let me run you through the key bands that I'm looking at today rather. So we've just sold away really pre-market, pre-open from the band around the 7530 level to sort of down the 7520 level. This sort of band here, you can see we got yesterday's high, yesterday's close, today's pivot, and the 5-minute 200 within this band at the moment. So that's a pretty decent level there. But we do seem to be moving down towards this band here at sort of the 7500 level, which is where, if you look at sort of the 4-hourly chart over here, you can see the day before, we had this huge sell-off, and the 500 level is where price sort of held, and we got a little bounce yesterday. So the sort of trading day you would expect really after a big move like this. You so often see the price then sort of make a small move within maybe a given range, which is sort of what we got yesterday on the FTSE. So yeah, we're currently in between these two bands at the moment. If price was to come down to this band and find some support here, I would definitely be very happy to try and buy this back up to this band up here. Equally, if it was going to come back up into this band, maybe test the highs of this band, I would also be keen to look for a sell. So it's just, as usual, it's just really a case of waiting and seeing what price does at the moment, and if we get either of those signals. So I'll update you a little bit later on when price has moved one way or the other. Okay, so we are now 20 to 10. I just want to give you a bit of an update. When I last checked in, we just opened and we were moving up into this band here, and I said that I was looking to sell from sort of the top of this band. Now we got this red sell candle here, but I didn't take it, and there were a couple of reasons for that. The first one was, if you look across these highs here, just on the pivot as well, we having had a decent break above this and the 200, there was no test at that point. And I didn't really want to step in short here when it could pop down, test this 200 or the pivot and carry on moving higher. So I ignored the sell candle there. Now we get this candle here that pokes through the 200 and touches the pivot and the ATMA and reacts from it, which obviously is looking like it wants to continue bullish. We then get this sell candle, which at this point is the smallest candle that's formed since the open. The open being this red down bar here. This is probably the smallest candle that we've had since the open. So it's not fantastic sentiment for another move further down, obviously. That added with the fact that it's not really, it's poking through the 200, but it's still above the ATMA and it's still above this pivot. I just ignored it. Now obviously the target would have been down to sort of this level here where these closes are, and as you can see it did get there. This is one of those funny trades because you see setups like this where there's just enough deterring you from taking it, and then it works out and you can beat yourself up about this one. Especially first thing on a morning, you can spend the rest of the day thinking, why didn't I take that trade? I'd be done by now. This would have finished, I think, for 9 o'clock. Yeah, I'd have been done for 9 o'clock. Shut the charts down, get on with my day. And instead, it's almost an hour later, and I'm not actually looking like getting a setup at the moment as it's breaking through this band. So we've got to wait for either a retest of this band or a move up to this band as it stands. So you start this psychological battle with yourself as to why you didn't get into this trade, and ultimately it's very easy to then take a trade that doesn't match what you were looking for. You applied the discipline here to avoid this setup for the right reasons. I'm happy with what I did there. I was looking for it to come down from here, but and it did, but I just didn't get the signals that I was looking for. This wasn't quite right, and if it's not quite right, don't take it. As long as I continue with this discipline moving on, so for the next trade setup and the next trade setup and so on, then that will stand me in good stead. If I start getting wound up that I didn't take this trade and then take some shoddy setup a little bit later on because I wanted to be done for 9 o'clock and doing whatever I wanted to do with the rest of my day, then that's when stupid losses and mistakes are going to start creeping in and really hindering your account. So yeah, just to explain really, I guess, why I didn't take this trade here after I sort of called what I was looking for. That is the reason. So as far as trades coming up for the rest of the day go, we're poking up above here. I'm still not convinced of a bigger move up as it stands, but it's done pretty well. We've set this low this morning, we've moved up higher, we've come down, we've set a higher low, and currently we're setting a higher high. So technically, it is looking good for a higher move. But I think if I was to take another trade, never mind another trade, I'd be looking. It's going to be one of these two bands, obviously, because that's the ones that we're sitting in between at the moment. So it's just a case of still waiting. We've got the R1 up in this band, so if we get up here, maybe get a sell signal. It's not going to be a massive trade because the distance between these two bands is not even 10 points, so that would be a tight one. It would have to be a good signal that gives me plenty of room for the trade to attack. Or we sort of fall back into this band and we continue looking for a sell down to sort of towards yesterday's low at 7,500. I don't really know at the moment. Price has got to show me what to do, so I will wait until that happens, and I'll update you a little bit later on. So we're 11:30 now, and as you can see, price never really got up to this band above. It sort of hung about above the top of this band, and really for me, the key level here was the one I've shaded in a darker blue. It came down, tested it, and it's finally broken it. What I was looking for was a breakdown below, a retest, and I would have been more than happy to sell, but as you've seen, that never happened, and we're now selling off again. It's just been one of those frustrating days. I'm just not getting the setup, annoyingly. As you can see, we've come down to the hourly 200 there, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. Basically, we've had this strong move down. If we look at this on the hourly chart, we've had this strong move down here. It's come down. Then we basically, from here, we've come up a little bit. We've come down. We've gone up to a higher high. We've come down. And then we've come up. So as it stands here, we've got one shoulder ahead, and potentially what I'm looking at is a second shoulder with a move down to either this band here or potentially even down to sort of today's S3 if it is to break past through all that. So that is why I'm particularly keen on selling into this at the moment. We've got the momentum to the downside. We've got a nice head and shoulders pattern there. But we're just not getting the signal, unfortunately. It would have been really difficult to short it from any signal that's above this band because it's got the entire band as support potentially. But if it could have broke through this sort of key level within the band and given me a retest and a sell, I'd have been more than happy with that. But it's just not done that, unfortunately, so I'm sat on the sidelines. If it is to come back up now and give me a sell signal, then fantastic, I'll still look to take that. If it starts coming down to this band, which is looking more and more likely, then I don't really know what I'll be able to do with this at the moment. Like I said, I do favour a sell, but if it gets down to here, then there's the potential for a buy. But like I say, I think with that pattern there, it might want to come even further and come and test this today's S3, this band down here. So, like I've been doing all morning, I'm still waiting for the setup, and if I do get one, I will let you know. Okay, we're 20 to 1, and I'm actually going to short this here, or at least put an order in at the low of this 12:30 candle. So the low of the candle is 89.8, so I want to be in 88.7, but you'll have noticed that 88.7. We've actually already broken down past that, and then we've come back up. So if this candle wants to come down again, I'm thinking I'd like to be involved. Not a buy. That was close. So I want to sell. Check that's right. Oh, sorry, I'll bring the ticket across so you can see it. So yeah, there's a sell order there at 88.7, so below this candle. Now if it's going to break down past that again, I'd like to be involved. It sort of spiked down there really quickly, which would have triggered me in if I'd have had the order in already, but I didn't at the time. See, ideally, just move this ticket out of the way. I would have liked the signal candle, and if we get a new signal candle before this triggers, I'll just change the order. But basically, you can see prices had this awesome rundown. Basically, what I was talking about this morning, potentially coming down through this band towards this band here at today's S3. And what's looking more likely is like a test of this 4-hour 200. It's not been tested for a while, and we're getting pretty close. And that would line up with this band here, around sort of the 78 level. So, if we can get short from this particular band, you can see we've moved through it quite comfortably. We've popped up. We have had this sell signal. I would have been triggered in, but the spike happened really quickly. But the order's in there now. If price wants to drift up a little bit and marry up with where we've got sort of these couple of pins here and give me a sell signal up there, then I'll just bring the order up slightly so we're getting at a bit better price. But if he wants to start coming down, then I will get triggered in through this signal candle here. So that's the plan as it stands. I'll bring the ticket back across so you can see. It'll disappear when it gets triggered, and then I'll bring the live ticket across. Or I will just update it. If we get another signal candle, I'll just update the price that we get triggered in at. So let's see how this gets on. Okay, so we are now coming down, it would seem, towards this band. I'm actually going to set the take profit level at 7480. Okay, so that's in there, and for some reason that always disappears. That's nice and annoying. Okay, so you can see the take profit's in there at 7480. If we pop down to there, then I will be taken out. Obviously, the S3 itself is a decent line of support and resistance, but I just like, I don't know if you could see that with the silly face cam thing, but I like the fact that it's getting close to this 200 as well. We're getting really close now. So that's why I've put it a little bit below the S3 line. Is it going to do it this candle? No, it's not. Okay, so that's interesting. So I'm going to be on. I don't want this coming back against me now, because we've got unemployment claims in the US at past, so that's 15 minutes away. I'd rather be out of this for then, to be honest. So I'm not going to stick in this trade hoping it's going to come down a few more points. If it starts coming up, then it starts coming up. I'll just be out of it. I'll watch it for a couple of seconds, see what it's thinking about doing. It looks like it's thinking about bouncing up a little bit, but yeah, basically if it starts coming back up, I'll just come out of this. The target's there, just a few points below. It's obviously not a big one. I think it'll be about 9 points if it does get down there. But yeah, it's a frustrating day really. It looks like there's been so much on the table for the taking, especially when the calls that I made this morning, they were pretty much bang on. To only come out with 9 points if we do get these 9 points. Could you could get frustrated about that, but c'est la vie, really. We've done everything right. The setups, for me on another day, those setups. If I took those setups all the time, I don't think I would be as profitable as being as choosy as I am. Say, that's what the testing's for. And when there was just enough things, there were 2 or 3 things that I was thinking, I really don't like the potential for that stopping the price. We had the pivot and we had the 200 moving average. The fact that it had moved up quite quickly this morning, they just all played against that trade, really. Obviously, if I had have taken it, it would have worked out. But you could do that so many times. You could look back in hindsight so many times and oh, I should have taken that trade. Well, you've got to implement the plan that makes you money over the long term, not over one particular trade. So it was definitely the right thing to do, and I'm happy with the decision. So we'll just keep watching this for now. It's looking like it's going to think about it, at least for a short while. See if we can get down there and touch my take profit level. And then I will be done for the day. But it's coming up now, annoyingly. So we'll keep watching and see what happens. Okay, so I've closed that literally for like a 1 pip loss. I don't know if you've ever heard the term "don't be a dick for a tick," but I guess that's pretty much what I've been there. I just thought that this, having got so close, would almost definitely touch this 200. If it was going to do so, the 200 is at about 77, 78. It's a couple of points above there, would have been 80. The candle got to a low of 80.4. It just didn't quite do it. So we've got the news coming up in 4 minutes. We'll see what happens there. It still might come down, but I'm not going to sit through and risk my capital on what could be basically a coin toss. You don't know which ways news is going to go, and you don't know how it's going to affect the price. So we'll see what happens after the news. I believe that's the only thing we've got at 12:30. There's some Canadian news as well, but it's not as high impact. And then there's nothing really there's nothing for the rest of the day after that. So like I said, it might still come down, but it's come up high enough for me to get out of the trade. I didn't really want to risk any more than that. It's always, this candle looks like it's waiting for the news announcement now, and it could spike this way, it could spike this way, it could do nothing. So we'll see if it's if it doesn't have much of an impact on price and it comes back up in here and we get another sell signal. I still think price is going to want to come and at least tag this 200. Then we may get another stab at taking a short from down here. Equally, what's quite annoying is this is obviously a fantastic region for a buy as well down here. A bounce back up to this band. So it's not worked out perfectly at all. What I was thinking was after we got this sell here is if that it could have come down here, taken us out, touched that 200, given us a buy signal, we could have come back up 2 trades quite quickly there. Again, price might end up doing that, but if the signal's out there, you can't just go in blind, if you know what I mean. So we'll see. News in a couple of minutes, and then we'll revisit this and see if we can get any more trades off this afternoon. Right, so just a short while after that previous trade, we're looking like we're going to get another go here. So we're going to pop a sell order below this one, this time at 91.3. Sell 1.3 again with the 5 units and submit that. So that's in. Bring the order ticket across. So you can see this time it's actually come up into this level we identified earlier and reacted from there, which is good. So now we're looking for a move down to sort of where it failed last time. Basically, we're looking at a double bottom sort of scenario here. It's obviously got the ATMA to push through first, but if you can get through that, then yeah, we're looking back down towards this band, and if it does get a touch of the 200 this time, I think I would look for potential buy signals back up. So we'll see if we can get triggered and how this one gets on. Right, so we're actually starting to move down now towards the target area again. As I mentioned earlier, we're looking at this 200 over here on the 4-hour chart. It's actually one bar further on now than when we looked at it earlier, so it is a little bit higher. It's actually sitting at about 79 level. So the take profit for this trade, I'm going to put at 81. Pop that in there, modify that. Bring the trade back up so you can see it. There's the ticket again. So if it starts coming down now, which is looking like it's going to do, that will take us out at 81, which is a couple of points above this 200. I would fully expect this to get hit this time and not dupe us around. So we'll keep watching. Okay, so we've come right back up to where we got in, and even past there. Now we're back up to this level that was of interest before. So the stop on this is going to go 2 points above this. So the high of this candle here is 97.3, so the stop is going to go in at 99.3. $499.3. Submit that. Okay, so that's in there. Bring the ticket across again. There you are, so you can see the stop there at 99.3. So if that's going to come up above here and take us out, then so be it. We got really close again for a second time. It just doesn't want to come down past this S3 level, annoyingly. So we'll watch, see if we do get a reaction from this level again, but I would assume now it's more likely that it's going to want to come up through here. You can see here on the 4-hourly chart we've not tested this ATMA for a while, and that would sort of line up with the top of this band at the 500 level, but I'm not really willing to let it come that high and then see if it's going to start coming down from there. I would rather see if it fails at this point, and if it doesn't, be out of the trade for less of a loss. So we'll see what happens. And there we have it. So that stop loss was hit there, just above this level, like I thought it was. After we had this candle here at the 3 o'clock, it's clearly given up trying to go any lower for now, and he's having that retracement. I mean, likely areas where this might come up and start looking to retest now, I would guess, sort of back up towards the S1 level. Lines up with these pins here on the hourly chart, or maybe even this low here. We're actually breaking past that on the 4-hour chart as it stands. So yeah, we might come up here, have a bit of a retracement, and then maybe look to come back down tomorrow maybe. Or it could mug me off completely and just come straight back down from here. Who knows? Obviously you don't know anything really for sure. All you can do is work on the probabilities that you've tested. And you know, in hindsight, maybe I should have played it safe and, you know, targeted only or just above this S3 level. It does tend to encapsulate price a lot, but I just thought with the 200 moving average there on the 4-hour being so close, I thought we were going to get a touch there, because we usually do if you come that close. I'll be surprised if we get, you know, a big reaction from here without coming down and tagging this. So we'll see, I guess. But I think we ended up, I think it was, let me measure, we got in off the back of this, not that candle, off the back of this candle, and we were 2 points above here, so it was about 7 or 8 points. We lost, I think, a point on the other one, so it's about 9 points down for today, which is a bit disappointing considering that we've had as much movement as we've had, and actually the analysis from the market today has been pretty good, but it's just been one of those days. But thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do drop a like on the video, and if you haven't done so already, please do consider subscribing, and I'll see you next week.